It is a bright sunny day and Juju walks home from class with her friend. Suddenly, her friend spots a handsome man nearby and asks if that is Juju's older brother. Girls around him keep staring because this guy looks very attractive. Juju confirms that it is really him. Her friend gets excited right away and begs Juju for an introduction, but Juju refuses because she never understands why girls like her brother so much. She even pretends they are not related whenever they are outside, so she tells her friend to just leave. But then things suddenly change. Another handsome man walks over and stands beside her brother. Turns out it is Go Dojin, and Juju's friend is completely shocked. Two model-looking guys are now standing together. Dojin looks amazing in his suit, and Juju quietly stares at him. The two men look tall and stylish like celebrities. Because of that, Juju's cheeks turn slightly red. Our girl clearly gets flustered. If we talk about Juju's first love, we need to go back many years. Back when she just started elementary school, something unforgettable happens. One day, she gets scared after seeing someone outside their front door, so she runs to call her brother. Seo Taeyu is in 4th grade at the time. Our boy only wants to play games, but Juju keeps bothering him non-stop. She begs him to check the door because she thinks the new neighbors have arrived. At first, this guy does not care, but suddenly a voice comes from outside asking if anyone is home. Because of that, both siblings freeze for a moment. Little Juju slowly opens the door a little and peeks outside. Then she sees someone stunning. A very handsome man stands there holding rice cakes and smiling warmly. He asks if their parents are home. Even though Juju is still a child, she is instantly amazed by his looks. Some people just look breathtaking. The man explains that he just moved next door and came to greet them. Juju cannot hold back and blurts out that he is handsome. Then she keeps staring with her mouth open. That is how her first love begins. This man is Gadayuk, and Juju sees him as perfect. But sadly, there is an 8-year age gap between them. Now things get worse because Gadayuk is divorced and already has a child. The obstacle becomes even bigger. Later, Juju returns home and loudly announces herself, but she quickly notices her brother is still not back yet. Turns out he is out drinking with Go Dojin. Dojin is Godoyuk's younger brother and also Taeyu's close friend. Juju heads to the shower while thinking about seeing Dojin earlier that day. In that suit, this guy looked like a gangster. As the hot water runs down, she admits he has become just as handsome as Godoyuk. Surprisingly, maybe even more handsome now. After showering, she wraps her hair in a towel and waits around. Soon she realizes her brother still has not returned. Since it is almost dinner time, she decides to call him. She asks when he plans to come home. Taeyu gets annoyed immediately after hearing that. He reminds her that he is not her personal chef. Then he tells her to make her own food if she is hungry. Juju starts whining right away. Because she keeps complaining, Taeyu gives her another option. He tells her to come eat with them at the restaurant instead. Since Dojin is paying tonight, she can join too. Hearing that, Juju gets excited. She quickly gets ready and heads over. A bit later, Juju arrives at their table with a bright smile. Dojin asks why she suddenly showed up there. Taeyu calmly says he could not let the kids starve. Juju happily sits down and keeps glancing at Dojin. This guy sighs and calls both siblings freeloaders. Taeyu just laughs and pats Juju on the back. Then he tells her to order whatever she wants. Juju does not act shy at all. She immediately calls the waiter over and starts listing dish after dish, but then she notices Dojin staring at her intensely, so she asks why he is looking at her like that. Dojin keeps staring at Juju across the table. She wonders if this guy is worried about the bill, but he only smiles and says that is not the reason at all. Resting his chin on his hand, he says he still remembers her as a little kid. Now she is grown enough to drink alcohol, and that surprises him. Juju instantly blushes after hearing that. She is only 3 years younger than him, so the age gap never feels big to her. But seeing him in that suit makes her imagination run wild, so she asks why he is dressed like that. The next moment, Dojin removes his jacket. Juju gulps right away because his broad shoulders stand out under the shirt. He explains that he just came from his cousin's wedding. Juju remembers how she once only cared about handsome faces. Now things are different. She is completely mesmerized by this guy's broad chest and strong frame. Then Dojin loosens his tie while she keeps staring. He notices it and asks if she likes the suit that much. Juju gets flustered and cannot answer properly. She just keeps looking at him without saying much. Taeyu laughs and says he already told his friend that girls love men in suits. Then our boy jokes that if he wore one to university, every girl would fall for him. He suddenly asks if anyone plans to get married soon. Dojin teases him and says he should at least try wearing a suit first. Taeyu gets tired of the talk and tells everyone to just drink. He says it to Dojin, but Juju grabs the glass first and gulps it down. Everyone bursts into laughter after that. Because of it, they decide to get drunk together that night. Later, the apartment is covered with empty bottles. Juju is usually very picky, so finding a man who meets her standards is difficult. But now she feels like she has found the perfect ideal. Her hands slowly rest on Dojin's chest. Just touching it once makes her unable to look away. She cannot tell if this is a dream or real life. The guys are already passed out from drinking. Juju no longer cares what is real and only wants to keep staring at that broad chest. Dojin is asleep and only sighs whenever her hands touch him. Meanwhile, Juju keeps admiring him without stopping. Morning arrives, and sunlight fills the apartment. Dojin wakes up with a pounding headache and feels strangely hot. He assumes Taeyu must have turned on the heater by mistake. Then he feels something heavy lying on top of him. Half asleep, he thinks it might be a large dog. But when he opens his eyes, it is Juju sleeping right on top of him. His whole body aches as he quickly sits up. This guy cannot understand why she is even there. Dojin fixes his shirt and wonders how Juju can act so carefree. Then he goes to wake Taeyu in the next room. He says everyone needs to get ready for class, so Taeyu and his sister should go home and change clothes. Taeyu feels just as terrible and asks why they cannot get ready there. After all, they live next door, but Dojin refuses and tells them to leave. He still has to clean up the mess they made last night. Then he heads to the shower. From outside, he hears Taeyu waking Juju and telling her they are late for university. Soon Juju panics and shouts that she is already late. Dojin turns on the water while holding his aching head, but something feels strange. His chest also hurts badly for some reason. He walks to the mirror and freezes in shock. His chest and neck are covered with bruises and bite marks. This guy cannot understand what happened. It looks like some wild dog attacked him. Then a blurry memory returns. He remembers drunk Juju touching his chest all over him. Ojin instantly blushes and smacks his own face in embarrassment. He cannot believe what that girl did to him. Later, students leave the lecture hall as classes end. Juju slowly walks out because she feels terrible. She tells her friend she is probably going home. Her friend cheerfully says goodbye and leaves. Suddenly, Juju receives a text from Go Dojin. That shocks her because he never messages her first. He asks where she is right now. Juju replies that she is heading home and wonders what happened. Juju is already near the exit when she suddenly spots a familiar figure. Dojin is standing by the gate with his hood pulled low. The moment he sees her, this guy sternly calls her over. Juju quickly walks to him and asks what happened. She thinks something might be wrong with Taeyu. But Dojin says her brother is still in class. That only makes Juju even more confused. He looks irritated, like he has something serious to say. After a few awkward seconds, Juju asks what is going on. Dojin gives a short laugh and pulls down his hood. Then he points at the bruises on his neck. He asks if she can see what happened to him. Juju is shocked the moment she sees the marks. They look terrible to say the least. But she asks why she has to hear relationship drama from her brother's friend. Surprisingly, Dojin only laughs again. He says he cannot believe she does not remember last night. Juju immediately steps back in confusion. She is ready to deny everything at first, but then things get worse. A memory suddenly flashes in her mind. She remembers touching his chest while drunk. Because of that, shame instantly washes over her. She cannot say a single word in defense. Dojin calmly says it is good she finally remembers. Then this guy grabs her hand and tells her to come with him. His touch makes her heart race right away. Juju also realizes he is seriously angry. Once they get home, Dojin drags her inside quickly. They kick off their shoes in a rush and head straight into the apartment. Juju keeps apologizing and says her memory is still foggy. She claims she barely remembers anything. Dojin looks at her face and realizes she is not lying. She truly cannot remember the full night. Then he reaches for the hem of his hoodie. Juju instantly panics and asks what he is doing. He gives her a sideways glance and says he is helping refresh her memory. Then he pulls off the hoodie without hesitation. Juju sees the marks all over his body and cries out in shock. Her face turns red from embarrassment. She likes his figure, but now she feels ashamed. Dojin stands there just as embarrassed and tells her to admire her own handiwork. Because of Juju, his body has been hurting all day. This guy clearly wants answers. He asks what is wrong with her. Then he wonders why she bites people like a dog. Juju cannot stop staring at him and keeps apologizing again and again, but her eyes never leave his chest. Dojin grabs her chin and lifts her face up. He tells her to look directly at him. Then he asks if a simple apology is supposed to fix everything. Juju becomes completely flustered. Because she is distracted by his chest, her apology sounds fake. Dojin notices it right away. He says her face makes it obvious she is not sincere. Then he asks why she is smiling. This guy gets even more annoyed. He asks if she wants him to do the same thing back to her. Juju has only seen him this angry once before. That memory quickly returns. It happened right before midterm exams. Taeyu kept pestering Dojin with questions about getting closer to the class president. Our boy would not stop talking for even a second. Dojin was already exhausted. Juju does not care about their gossip at all. They are blocking her view of the TV, so she rudely tells them to leave. Dojin says they should not discuss such things in front of a child. Then he suggests going outside. Taeyu gets surprised by that comment. He asks why his friend still sees Juju as a child. Turns out Dojin had been staying over for 2 straight days. He and Taeyu were working on a joint project and both looked completely worn out. Taeyu tries to show Dojin how shamelessly grown up his sister has become, but Juju quickly tells them to get lost and work on their project somewhere else. Her brother gets annoyed and decides to teach her a lesson. He starts a playful fight, but things go wrong fast. Because of sleep deprivation, this guy moves clumsily and knocks over a can of coffee. The drink spills directly onto the laptop. Turns out the laptop belongs to Go Dojin. Even worse, the project they worked so hard on is ruined too. Taeyu and Juju freeze in shock after seeing the mess. An eerie aura suddenly surrounds Dojin. He stays calm, but his face looks ready to kill someone. Everyone knows this is a dangerous moment. Juju remembers how long Taeyu once had to beg for forgiveness. She knows Dojin is actually a good person. Since both siblings are used to apologizing, Juju quickly drops to her knees. She clasps her hands and starts begging non-stop. She promises it will never happen again. She says she has no idea what came over her. Surprisingly, she even claims she never acts like this while drunk. Then she says she will do anything he asks. Go Dojin stays still and takes a deep breath. He tells her to stand up. Then he asks if she really means she does not do stupid things when drunk. Juju shyly nods and says yes. Dojin sighs and forgives her this time. He says it is only because it is her, but he warns her never to behave like that with anyone else. Otherwise, serious trouble could happen. He also says he is not sure he can trust her the same way again. Juju feels relieved and nods obediently, but then Dojin suddenly asks what she would do if it happened again. She quickly says it never will. Then Juju glances at his broad chest again and starts blushing. Turns out she is not fully confident in that answer. So she cheerfully says if it happens again he can do the same thing back to her. A vein instantly pops on Dojin's forehead. This guy asks if she has completely lost her mind. 2 weeks pass after that mess. During all that time, Juju becomes Dojin's personal servant. She handles every request to settle their conflict. Now once again, Dojin keeps ordering her around. Juju hates it, but she endures everything. Taeyu notices her strange behavior and questions his friend. He asks what happened to make his sister so obedient. Dojin calmly says he has no idea. Then he tells Taeyu to pack his things. Right after that, Juju appears with a sweet smile. She politely says the coffee for Dojin is already on the table. Her brother grins and asks for coffee from his sweet little sister too, but Juju instantly shows a rude gesture. Then she tells this guy not to even dream of it. Dojin only needs to call her name once. Juju instantly sighs in defeat and says she understands. To be fair, most of this guy's requests are small things. Usually it is coffee or simple favors. Every morning, she even has to wake him up based on his class schedule. When Juju asks how long this will continue, Dojin gives a clear answer. He says until the marks on his chest disappear completely. That makes her even more curious. By the end of the week, Juju cannot stop thinking about it. What if he already healed and is just fooling her? She cannot ask him directly, so she decides to check herself. While he sleeps, she quietly reaches for the buttons on his shirt. But the moment she touches him, Dojin grabs her hand. He asks what she is trying to do. Juju instantly blushes and panics after getting caught. She does not want this guy to misunderstand. At the same time, she cannot admit she only wants to check the bruises. So she quickly lies and says she is trying to wake him up like he asked. But Dojin does not believe her at all. He gets annoyed and asks if she is drunk again. Juju yelps at that outrageous idea. She says this is nothing like before. Then she sighs heavily, wondering why she cannot simply ask if his chest has healed. Things keep getting more awkward. Later, she makes coffee while thinking her slavery might end soon. Then she overhears Taeyu talking with Dojin. Her brother asks why this guy does not want to study abroad. Juju immediately becomes curious. She places the coffee down and asks why he really does not want to leave. After all, he only needs slightly better grades. Then everything would work out. Taeyu, still confused, asks why Juju is sweet to Dojin but rude to her own brother. Dojin looks up from his tablet and gives a calm answer. Maybe it is because he is staying home while Taeyu is leaving the country. That means Juju would be left behind. Hearing that, Juju pouts right away. She cannot understand why Dojin will not go too. It is only 4 weeks away. By then, all the marks on his body would heal, and everyone would forget the whole mess. But Juju does not notice something important. Behind the tablet, Dojin is secretly watching her. Surprisingly, his cheeks turn red. He thinks the girl is still just as naive and silly as ever. Friday morning finally comes. Juju wakes up alone in the apartment because her brother has already flown out. Then she suddenly smells something delicious coming from inside the house. She gets suspicious right away. If she is supposed to live alone for 4 weeks, then who is cooking? Juju rushes out of the room thinking maybe her brother missed his flight. She heads straight to the kitchen. The moment she enters, she calls out and asks if her brother forgot to leave today. But then she freezes on the spot. Standing there is a familiar figure wearing an apron. That sight completely stuns her. She can barely whisper and asks what Go Dojin is doing in her apartment. Then she notices the dumplings and gets happy for a second. But she quickly regains herself and asks again why this guy is in her kitchen. Dojin calmly says it is already too late now. If she wants breakfast, she better hurry up. Then he tells Juju to wash up and change first. Juju cannot understand why this guy is making her breakfast. The whole scene feels like some strange dream. She loudly asks again why he is doing this. More than anything, she wants answers. While setting the table, Dojin calmly explains everything. Turns out Taidu asked him to make sure his sister does not starve while he is away. He says it so casually, like it is no big deal. Then he tells her to hurry before the soup gets cold. Juju feels extremely awkward. For the first time, they are alone together in the same room, but the delicious dishes on the table make her mouth water fast. She shyly asks if she can eat first and shower later. Dojin sighs and asks why she even needs permission. It is her own house after all. Hearing that, Juju rushes straight to the table. Her embarrassment disappears the moment food is involved. After sitting down, she asks if she understood correctly. Would Dojin really cook for her the whole time her brother is gone? He sits across from her and simply says yes. That answer shocks her again. Then Juju asks about cleaning too. Surprisingly, Dojin says cleaning is also his job, but the laundry will be her responsibility. Juju happily accepts because her brother usually handled that before. She sincerely thanks him for breakfast. Then she takes the first spoonful and freezes. The food tastes unbelievably good. She jumps up and asks if he really made it himself. Dojin calmly says he cooked everything. Juju immediately praises him non-stop. She even says he is better than Taedu. That compliment lands hard. Dojin and Taedu study at the same university and same department. Because they are always together, Juju follows them and joins the same university too. Later, Dojin finds an apartment near campus. When Juju learns the apartment next door is empty, she quickly signs the lease. Then she and her brother move in beside him. That is how the three end up living so close. But things soon feel different. Even though they have been neighbors for years, Juju now feels awkward. They used to barely talk because both felt shy around each other. After entering university, they start speaking more often. Now they are practically alone together. While putting on lipstick for class, Juju suddenly realizes something. This is the first time they have eaten breakfast alone together. Thinking about the food and those marks on his body makes her blush. Her heart keeps pounding. After breakfast, Dojin starts washing dishes. Juju secretly hopes he will not make her serve him for all 4 weeks. She wants to talk about it, so she calls out to him. But this guy speaks first. He asks why she has not left for class yet. Then he casually asks if she wants coffee. There is not even a hint of teasing in his voice. Juju feels touched by the unexpected kindness. Still, that is not what she wants to ask. With her heart racing, she asks if the marks on his chest have healed. Dojin instantly becomes defensive. He asks why she suddenly wants to know. Juju gets flustered and says he misunderstood. Dojin crosses his arms and smirks. He asks if she only wants to know because her slavery might be over. Juju gulps as things get more intense. She insists he misunderstood again, but her heart keeps pounding harder. Suddenly, she notices how tall this guy really is. Then Dojin keeps smiling and asks if she wants to admire his chest again. Juju quickly stretches out her hands and says she is only worried about him. She tells him not to stand so close, but then she feels something firm under her palms. Turns out she is touching his chest again. She instantly notices how broad and strong it feels. Juju turns red from embarrassment and pulls back fast. Then she hurriedly explains she only meant to push him away a little. Dojin quickly covers his chest with both hands like an offended maiden. Then he tensely says Juju is really something else. Hearing that, the girl gets too embarrassed to stay. She runs straight out of the apartment. As she leaves, Juju thanks him again for breakfast and wishes him a good day. Dojin lets out a relieved sigh. But just when he relaxes, he suddenly hears her voice again. This guy instantly gets worried. Juju comes back only to say she has plans with friends tonight. She tells him she will eat dinner with them so he does not need to cook. Hearing that, Dojin feels something unfamiliar inside. He suddenly thinks she looks cute enough to make his heart skip a beat. He wonders if this is what older brothers feel like. Then he turns back toward the dirty dishes. But before he can continue, he notices Juju forgot her handbag on the table. That creates another chance. Juju is already putting on her shoes when she hears him call out. She wonders what this guy wants now. Dojin walks over and lightly taps her head with the bag. Then he tells her not to be so careless. Juju thanks him in surprise. But then Dojin suddenly asks who she is meeting. He specifically asks if it is girls. Juju smiles and says yes, only the girls from her group. The moment he hears that, he feels relieved. He tells her to have fun tonight. Then he reminds her not to drink too much. This guy clearly cares more than he admits. As the day ends, the sun slowly sets. Juju is now at a restaurant enjoying time with her friends. Everyone is chatting happily while drinks keep coming. She lifts another glass as the gossip begins. The girls start talking about a new guy at the university. They say he is incredibly handsome. One friend says she knows exactly who they mean. His name is Min and he is tall and attractive. Another girl confirms it right away. She says his full name is Shinung Min. He has many followers on social media and wants to become a trainee. That instantly gets everyone excited. One of the girls nudges Juju with her elbow. She says there is no way Juju does not know him. Juju looks confused and casually says maybe she has seen him around. The girls giggle and expose something surprising. They say they saw that guy subtly trying to sit next to her at the last apartment meeting. Because of that, they are sure he likes her. Juju feels awkward immediately. She does not remember anything like that. Since the hints keep piling up, she honestly says she is not interested in him anyway. Her blunt answer surprises the group. One friend laughs and says Juju is not the type to fall for looks alone. Then she changes the topic fast. She asks if everyone has seen Juju's brother lately. Turns out there are two famous heartthrobs in the IT department. Juju's brother is one of them. One girl says she saw him recently and he was so handsome it was blinding. Juju is happy the attention shifts away from her. But then things get worse. One friend suddenly says she heard Juju's brother already has a girlfriend. Juju looks shocked by that claim. She quickly takes another sip of alcohol. She firmly says her brother does not have a girlfriend. She is completely sure of it. Hearing that, the girls sigh in relief and say student gossip communities cannot be trusted. Suddenly, a handsome blonde guy walks up to their table. He cheerfully says he is happy to see his seniors. Juju instantly recognizes him as Shinung Min, the same guy they were just discussing. She immediately feels uneasy. Then this guy smiles brightly and asks if he can sit next to her. The girls stare at him in silence. After all the teasing from earlier, everything suddenly feels awkward. Sun Man keeps looking only at Juju with hopeful eyes. He does not look away for even a second. Juju remembers something from when she first entered university. Back then, she was still not used to drinking. One day, she got too drunk at a party. That mistake caused trouble the very next morning. She arrives in class still smelling a little like alcohol, but instead of acting normal, everyone greets her warmly and cheerfully. Juju is confused right away. Something clearly feels off. Then her friend gets upset and asks why she had to hear everything through rumors. She says Juju should have told her directly. Juju just stares blankly, having no idea what she means. Then she asks what rumor she is talking about. Her friend quickly explains everything. The whole university is saying Juju and San are having a fling. People even say they look like a beautiful couple. Hearing that, Juju freezes on the spot. She has no idea where those lies came from. Later at home, she tells her brother everything. He immediately asks who this guy is. Juju says San is just a senior from her department. She explains he is spreading rumors that something happened between them. Taidu gets furious right away. This guy is always ready to protect his sister. He demands San's number so he can deal with that scumbag, but Juju says they never even exchanged numbers. That only makes the rumor more insulting. Taidu becomes even angrier and asks if the guy has lost his mind. Then he says he has no classes tomorrow and will go with her. At that moment, Dojin walks into the apartment. He comes to ask if Taidu finished his work, but then he hears the conversation and stops. The mood changes instantly. Juju says everything is fine and she is not a child, but her brother argues that she is a 20-year-old child. Dojin then asks what they are fighting about. Taidu explains that some idiot is bothering Juju. so he plans to go to class with her tomorrow and will not let that guy get away with it. Then he asks Dojin if he agrees. Dojin thinks for a moment before answering. He says Juju is not entirely wrong. He also says Taedu may be overreacting a little. Juju feels relieved hearing that. Her brother's overprotective side often drives her crazy. She thanks Dojin and says she can solve problems on her own. Then she stands up and says the matter is over. Deep down, Dojin's calm attitude unsettles her more than Taedu's loud concern. She appreciates her brother's care, but she does not want him fixing everything forever. Juju wants to be treated like an adult now. Meanwhile, Dojin sits beside Taedu on the couch. Taedu asks if stepping in now would still be smarter before things get worse. Dojin calmly says he should not have mentioned anything to Juju. Turns out he also has no classes the next day. He says the two of them could have handled it together quietly. That answer says a lot. Back in the present, Juju stares into her empty glass. Her mind is foggy from alcohol again. She realizes she cannot even remember what happened after that old incident. Suddenly, she knows she drank too much again. Sunung-man watches her carefully. He notices she is no longer thinking clearly. A sly smirk appears on his face. This guy instantly comes up with a sneaky plan. He moves as close to her as possible and starts talking. Juju immediately dislikes it. She feels uncomfortable sitting next to him. But things get worse when he leans near her ear. He whispers that she left her umbrella in the classroom before. He says he picked it up and took it home. Then he offers for her to come to his house and get it back. Even while drunk, Juju feels something is wrong. She does not like being around this guy at all. She gets even more annoyed when her friend So-jang leaves her seat, pretending to go to the restroom. That move lets Sunung-min sit beside Juju. Now the friend secretly encourages him, thinking they like each other. But Juju only feels creeped out. She cannot understand why her friend cannot see the obvious truth. Juju is not interested in this guy at all. The girls keep playing a drinking game called Rabbit Carrot. The loser has to drink every round. Juju keeps losing again and again. Because of that, she gets drunk very fast. The more she drinks, the harder it becomes to keep playing. Sunman quietly watches everything from the side. Turns out, this is exactly what he wants. Earlier, he invites Juju to come over. He says she can collect the umbrella later, or he can bring it to the university. But Juju calmly says there is no need. She already has plenty of umbrellas at home. This answer makes the guy angry. He cannot believe his charm is not working on her. Then he watches another girl hand Juju one more glass. Our boy starts wondering why she stays so cold toward him. Juju can barely hold the glass now, so this guy quickly offers to drink it for her. The other girls praise him and act like he is some knight on a white horse. But Juju instantly refuses his help. Then surprisingly, she grabs the full glass of soju cocktail. She drinks everything in one gulp. Everyone at the table freezes. Silence suddenly fills the room. So-chang finally understands the truth. Her friend clearly does not like the handsome guy at all. All their matchmaking efforts are a complete failure. The other girls realize it too. Because of that, they decide to end the night. They suggest everyone should head home now. But things get worse when Sunman suddenly puts his arm around the fully drunk Juju. He asks where she lives so he can walk her home. His behavior immediately worries the girls. Even though they study together, he is still almost a stranger. His eagerness feels suspicious. So So-shang quickly stands up. She says his help is not needed. Juju lives nearby and they will call her OA to pick her up instead. Meanwhile, Go Do-shin keeps staring at his phone. He is getting anxious because Juju still has not come home. It is already almost midnight. Then suddenly his phone starts ringing. He asks why she is calling this late, but instead of Juju, a different girl speaks. She gives him the name of the bar. Then she says Juju is so drunk that she cannot even walk. Finally, she asks him to come pick her up. The guy jumps up from the couch right away. He runs so fast that sweat starts pouring down. By the time he reaches the bar, he is already out of breath. Our boy rushes inside without stopping. Guju's friends feel relieved the moment Dojin arrives, but this guy suddenly freezes after seeing the scene. He locks eyes with another man who clearly hates his arrival. Juju is sitting unconscious right beside him. The stranger even has his arm around her. Because of that, anger instantly rises inside Dojin. He cannot believe what he is seeing. What the hell is going on here? Dojin gives the man a cold stare. The guy immediately pulls his hand away from Juju. Turns out, one look is enough to scare this scumbag. The whole mood changes at once. Dojin kneels in front of Juju. He wonders how she lets herself get this drunk. She cannot even open her eyes now. He tries to wake her, but she does not respond. Realizing she is completely out of it, he lifts her onto his back like she weighs nothing. So-jang hands over Juju's bag. She thanks him again for coming to pick her up. Then she watches him carry Juju away. At that moment, Sunung Min quietly walks over. He says Juju's brother looks really intimidating. But surprisingly, Sochung says he is not her brother at all. She explains that Juju's real brother has gone abroad for a short time. Now his friend is taking care of her instead. Hearing that, the guy looks shocked. He starts asking if it is dangerous to send her off with another man. Sojang immediately thinks this guy looks far more suspicious. Now he seems even more dangerous than before. She tells him Dojin and Juju have known each other since childhood. They are basically like family, but this guy keeps staring after them. He clearly cannot believe a man and woman can be just friends. In the end, everyone says goodbye and heads home. The night finally comes to an end. When they get back, Dojin gently lays the drunk girl on the bed. He covers her with a blanket. Then he starts thinking about how careless she has been tonight. His mood only gets worse. He remembers the guy from the bar. Anger and irritation rise again. Didn't Juju understand what could have happened? Our boy is furious because she acts so recklessly. Still, everything ends safely that night, so Dojin tucks her in and lets her sleep peacefully. He decides to talk to her the next day instead. Then he quietly closes her bedroom door behind him. He lets out a deep breath. He starts wondering when Juju grew up so much. She used to be easy to handle before. Somehow he never noticed how mature she had become. He also worries about her bad drinking habit. Every time she drinks too much, trouble follows after. Then he suddenly remembers the earlier chest incident. Because of that, this guy starts blushing. Turns out, Juju has another reason for acting this way. When she was a child, she once woke up at night after hearing a strange noise. Thinking it was her father, she walked outside her room, but things got worse immediately. It was not her father at all. A burglar had broken into their apartment. The whole event became deeply traumatic for her. Even now as an adult, she still trembles when she is home alone at night. The robber panicked because he feared getting caught. Unfortunately, Juju got hurt during the incident. It left a lasting scar on her. Back then, Dojin was still young. He only knew the police came to their neighbors because of a robbery. He never learned the full story until recently. Before leaving, Taeyu finally told him that Juju had been injured that night. Because of that, Dojin now understands why her brother worries so much. He also understands why Juju should not stay alone at night. Since her brother is gone, Dojin decides to sleep in the living room. Meanwhile, Juju sleeps restlessly in her room. She keeps tossing and turning because she feels sick. Soon, she sits up in bed. Strong dizziness hits her right away. She cannot even tell where she is at first. Holding her aching head, she slowly walks out of the room. She is not sure if she is dreaming or awake. Then suddenly, she notices Dojin sleeping on the couch. Juju stares at him in confusion. Since she thinks this is only a dream, she acts carelessly. She climbs onto the couch and ends up lying on top of him. At the same time, Dojin is dreaming. In his dream, an annoying mosquito keeps bothering him. Half asleep, he mumbles and tries to brush it away. Morning finally comes. Dojin feels a heavy weight on his chest. He opens his eyes wide in shock. There he sees Juju sleeping on top of him again. Our boy cannot believe what he is seeing. Then he notices fresh marks on his body once more. He starts shouting at her to wake up immediately. Juju slowly opens her eyes and asks what is happening. Then she sees Dojin's irritated face. In that moment, she realizes she has done the same thing again. She freezes in horror right away. She had promised not to repeat this mistake. But after getting drunk, she loses control once more. Now she can only sit there in embarrassment. A little later, Juju takes a shower. She keeps scolding herself for her careless behavior. She truly thought everything was just a dream, but things clearly went too far again. Then she suddenly remembers their old agreement. If this happened again, Dojin would pay her back the same way. Just thinking about it makes her emotions feel strange and confusing. That only scares her more. She cannot understand why she feels this way. Dojin has always been like family to her, but now she starts noticing him differently. That realization leaves her completely flustered. She quickly tries to stop those thoughts. The idea embarrasses her deeply. She feels like she is losing her mind. How can she even think this way about someone she has known since childhood? Soon, a terrible truth hits her. She is starting to see Dojin as a man. After a while, she sits in the living room. Nervously, she keeps fidgeting with her fingers. Dojin runs a hand down his face and lets out a heavy sigh. Then he asks if she remembers what they agreed on last time. He is clearly angry and says he already warned her before. He reminds her that if this happened again, he would return the favor. Juju burns with embarrassment. She cannot believe she now has to face the consequences of her own actions. She asks if he is really serious. Dojin looks just as awkward as she does. but because he is still upset, he firmly says he is not joking. Earlier, when Juju came out after showering, she already looked guilty. She could tell this guy was truly mad at her. His silence and sharp stare make her even more nervous. Eventually, he makes tea for both of them. Sitting across from her, he asks if she understands where her drinking habits can lead. His tone stays serious the whole time. Juju quickly tries to defend herself. She says she normally does not drink this much. She adds that this is the first time she has ever gotten this drunk, but Dojin is still irritated. After another heavy sigh, he asks one direct question. He wants to know if she has ever done something like this with anyone else before. The girl immediately says of course not. She insists this is the first time anything like this has ever happened. That answer only confuses Ojin even more. Now this guy wants to know what is going on with her. He asks why she suddenly started acting this way now. He even wonders if something strange is behind it. Juju stays silent from pure embarrassment. The room becomes painfully awkward. Still, she knows she needs to explain herself somehow, so she clenches her fists and starts talking. She mentions her favorite actor first. According to her, that actor helped shape her ideal type. She explains that she likes strong and athletic features. But surprisingly, she says it is not only about appearance, the overall build and presence matter too. She tries hard to make him understand. Then Juju nervously admits something shocking. When she looked at Oppa, she realized he matched that image perfectly. Right after saying it, she starts blushing. Then she quickly apologizes. Dojin stands up from the table and lets out a heavy sigh. Even after hearing her honesty, he decides she still needs to learn a lesson. He reminds her about the promise they made earlier. Juju stares at him in confusion. She cannot believe he is still serious about it. But Dojin gives her a stern look and says a promise is still a promise. In truth, he never plans to really go through with anything. He only wants to scare her a little. Her reckless behavior has been worrying him the whole time. He wants Juju to understand that acting this way around strangers could lead to real trouble. Because of that, he decides to stay firm. He believes he will not be swayed by any excuse this time. But then something completely unexpected happens. His eyes suddenly widen in shock. He freezes where he stands. Juju boldly reacts in a way he never expected. The moment catches him off guard. Now this guy has no idea what to do next. He thinks she will beg for forgiveness like before. But surprisingly, Juju does the exact opposite. This guy becomes so shocked that he cannot even move. His cheeks and ears instantly turn red. He believes this girl has completely lost her mind. He should scold her for being reckless again. But for some reason, no words come out. He just stands there frozen. Juju looks straight into his eyes. Then she asks if he is really going to do it. Dojin slowly kneels in front of her. Everything about the moment feels wrong. Still, our boy only lets out a deep breath. Then he leans closer and leaves a mark on her neck, just like she once did to him. During that moment, something suddenly changes. Juju now feels completely different from the girl he always knew. She no longer matches the old image in his mind. Turns out, he wants to be the only one who sees this side of her. But then reality hits him hard. He quickly pulls away in shock at what he has just done. But surprisingly, Juju is not scared at all. Instead, she starts scolding him for overdoing it. She says he only had marks on one side, while she has them on both. She gets annoyed and says it is unfair. Now, according to her, he owes her back. Dojin suddenly chuckles and admits she is right. The mood changes completely. Juju stares at his face in disbelief. This guy always walks around serious and grumpy, yet now he is making such an adorable expression. At some point, both of them realize things have gone too far. Their silly fight has entered unknown territory. Because of that, they both feel surprised and excited. Dojin stands up and starts putting his hoodie back on, but Juju cannot take her eyes off him. A tense silence fills the room. Then suddenly, he turns around and walks back to her. 1 second later, he pulls Juju into a hug. The distance between them disappears at once. Juju realizes the situation is dangerous, but strangely, she feels no fear at all. Being next to him makes her feel completely safe. Dojin gives her a mischievous smile. He tells her she looks insanely beautiful. Soon after, Juju peacefully dozes off in his arms. While holding her, Dojin finally understands the truth. He has been waiting for this moment for a long time. Our boy has finally realized his real feelings for Juju. Then he remembers something from school. A girl once hid around a corner and cried bitterly. He guessed what happened, so he quietly stayed nearby to protect her if needed. Back then, he only thought she was a silly girl. Later, Guji returns home and cheerfully announces she is back. But things get worse when Taedu suddenly asks where Dojin is. The girl looks confused and asks why she should know where his friend is wandering. Right after that, a grocery bag drops on her head. She yelps in surprise and turns around angrily. The guy irritably says he is her brother, so she should watch how she talks. Then he hands her the bag. After that, he tells Taeyu to hurry so they can go to the internet cafe. Juju opens the bag in confusion. Inside, she only finds snacks and sweets. Turns out, Dojin simply bought them for her. Tasha notices the sweets and asks why this guy brought them. Dojin only says it is just because. Then he waits by the elevator. There, someone mentions that Dojin's older brother already set a wedding date. They also say Juju cried for days after hearing the news. Dojin already knows Juju once liked his older brother, so hearing about the engagement upsetting her is not surprising. But for some reason it still bothers him deeply. Even though he only now understands his feelings, the truth becomes clear. He has loved her for a very long time. Because of that, he no longer wants to hide it. Instead of comforting her with candy again, he wants to confess honestly. Night has already fallen outside, the moon shines high in the sky. Then suddenly Juju's eyes snap open wide. For a few moments, Juju tries to understand where she is. Then everything suddenly comes back to her. She jumps up in horror after realizing what happened with Dojin. Clearly, both of them acted completely crazy. Then she notices she is wearing his t-shirt. It feels soft and smells nice. Realizing this guy changed her clothes while she slept makes her feel embarrassed. She quickly looks away. Juju quietly peeks into the kitchen. There she sees Dojin standing by the stove. After everything that happened, she has no idea how to act around him now, but the smell from the kitchen is too tempting. Turns out this guy cooks like a pro. Because of that, she cannot resist going closer. Suddenly, Dojin turns around after hearing a sound behind him. He simply smiles and greets her warmly. Juju gets surprised because she expected something awkward instead. Then she freezes when he walks toward her. In the next moment, he gently wraps an arm around her waist. He pulls her closer and kisses her lightly on the forehead. Juju stares at him with wide eyes. She feels confused by how sweet and gentle he is acting. Meanwhile, Dojin calmly tells her they should sit down and eat dinner. She sits at the table while he brings the plates. Everything feels strange and unfamiliar now. This guy is acting exactly like her boyfriend. When he sits across from her, she thanks him for the meal. The food smells amazing. Honestly, Juju might have run away already if the food were not so good. Dojin keeps smiling happily the whole time. Then he tells her she should stop drinking outside the house. Hearing that, Juju immediately questions why she should promise him anything. She keeps remembering the forehead kiss and his strange behavior. Because of that, she decides to ask directly. She wants to know if what happened between them was only a one-time thing. But surprisingly, Dojin shows no embarrassment at all. He smirks and acts like the answer is obvious. After everything between them, he says they should start dating now. Juju freezes with her spoon still in hand. She cannot process those words right away. The idea of her and him dating feels impossible to imagine. She asks if it would not be weird. For 10 years, she has treated him like an older brother. Then she also wonders what her real brother would say. Dojin stays completely calm. He says they are not related, so there is nothing wrong with dating. As for her brother, he says they will just tell him directly. Juju looks at him and realizes he makes sense. But then another thought appears. If they date, his famous broad chest would belong only to her. That idea sounds great at first, but things get worse when she remembers one serious problem. This guy is a crazy possessive type. One time, Juju, her brother, and Dojin are drinking together at a restaurant. During the talk, this guy admits he would do anything for his girlfriend. That answer immediately catches everyone's attention. Taeyu decides to ask more questions. He asks what Dojin would do if the girl cheated after all his sacrifices. Dojin gets a little flustered but answers quickly. He says he would make sure that never happens in the first place. When asked how, he gives a shocking reply. He says he would cut off all her communication with other men. Juju and Taeju exchange looks at once. Both silently agree this guy sounds completely insane. Taeyu then asks another question. He wants to know if Dojin would also stop talking to other women himself. Without even thinking, our boy says yes immediately. He says he would block them all with no discussion. Juju nervously sips her drink while hearing the argument continue. Her brother says no one can isolate a girlfriend from the whole world. She would still have work and daily life outside. But Dojin calmly says that would not be a problem. Hearing that, Taeyu gets even more shocked. He starts asking if this scumbag plans to lock the poor girl inside an apartment. Meanwhile, Juju remembers something. She always wondered why such a handsome and kind guy never had a girlfriend. Now the answer becomes painfully clear. Despite his charm, he is an extreme possessive type. She once believed he would stay single forever. But things get worse when she realizes she has now become that girlfriend. Back in the present, Dojin smiles cheerfully. He asks why she looks so lost in thought. Then he tells her to eat before the food gets cold. Juju also starts doubting his reason for asking her out. She thinks he may not have real feelings at all. More likely, he just feels responsible for what happened between them. Because of that, she suggests something else. She says it may be better to go on a few dates first, then they can decide later if a relationship makes sense. She believes more time together will reveal the truth. Turns out, she expects him to realize they are not compatible at all. But Dojin's expression suddenly changes. His face becomes unreadable. In a flat voice, he asks if she thinks relationships are some kind of game. Then he asks if she is mocking him. Before she can react, he gently takes her hand. He intertwines their fingers and holds on tightly. Juju instantly feels goosebumps across her body. His touch feels surprisingly tender. She can only stare at him in shock. Then this guy lifts her hand to his lips and leaves a light kiss on it. After that, he reminds her of one thing. He says she is the one who came to him first. Because of that, she should take responsibility too. Later, Juju stands in the bathroom looking at herself. She notices marks all over her arms and body. It looks less like romance and more like she fought a wild dog. Now she has no idea what clothes to wear, so nobody notices. While staring in the mirror, she keeps questioning everything. Is this really how relationships are supposed to work? A little earlier, she pulled her hand away from him. Then she boldly declared that if he insisted so much, she would take responsibility. This guy looks pleased and happy. He says this is exactly what he wants. The girl blushes and keeps eating. She still thinks our boy is really weird. But then suddenly she feels something strange. Her cheeks turn even redder right away. She quickly asks what he is doing. Turns out, under the table, Dojin is slowly rubbing her leg with his own. This guy only smiles and pulls down the collar of his shirt. He shows off his collarbones like it is nothing. Then he reminds her that she promised to take responsibility. He says maybe she wants to inspect the chest she likes so much. The girl gets so shocked that she drops her spoon. She is clearly excited but also embarrassed. Then she realizes she falls right into his trap. If not for that sculpted chest, she would never give in so easily. So Juju suddenly says she needs the bathroom. She tries to escape the situation fast, but things get worse when a hand wraps around her waist. Dojin stands behind her and asks why she takes so long. Then this guy leans closer from behind. He gently kisses her neck. A strong shiver runs through her body at once. Juju likes it, but everything still feels new and awkward. She quickly calls him a pervert and tells him to stop. Dojin looks confused by that reaction. The girl points at the marks on her body. She tells him to look at what he did, but this guy fights back immediately. He lifts his shirt and shows marks on himself too. Then he says between the two of them, she is the real troublemaker. Surprisingly, he has proof all over his body. Juju pulls his shirt back down at once. She reminds him they both have class today. Then she suggests they go to university together. She also tells him to stop seducing her already. Dojin only grins again. He says if he keeps using his broad chest, she will fall madly in love with him. Before she can reply, this guy suddenly kisses her. Juju already knows she will not get enough sleep tonight. The next morning, Juju somehow reaches university on time. She sits in class, but her mind is somewhere else. She keeps wondering if Dojin can even focus today. Yesterday, this guy cannot stay away from her, but today, surprisingly, he stays quiet. Juju starts to worry and messages him on Kakao. Dojin replies that his class ends at 5:10 p.m. Then he asks her to wait so they can eat dinner together. Juju smiles at the screen right away. Even the emoji he sends reminds her of him. She realizes she is acting like a lovesick fool. Still, she cannot stop smiling. Her class ends earlier than expected. She decides to wait like they promised. But while walking, she overhears two girls talking nearby. They mention cherry lip balm makes kissing more fun. Turns out there is even a popular challenge now. Girls wear flavored lip balm and make their boyfriends guess the taste. Juju stops walking when she hears this. She thinks it sounds very interesting. She pretends to search through her bag. In reality, she does not want them noticing she is listening. Then she finds her own lip balm inside. Surprisingly, hers is strawberry flavored. Juju quickly puts it on her lips. She tells herself it means nothing and her lips are just dry. But we all know the truth. She wants an excuse to kiss her boyfriend again. Then she starts hurrying toward Dojin's class. She wants to surprise him before he leaves. But in her excitement, she fails to notice a guy walking right past her. Turns out, the guy walking past her is Min. The moment he sees Juju, he recognizes her right away. He calls her name, but the girl keeps moving. So this guy grabs her hand to stop her. He pulls her closer and asks where she is rushing off to. Juju instantly jerks away like he burns her. She looks shocked and angry at once. Then she asks what he thinks he is doing. Min quickly raises his hands and apologizes. He says he never meant to scare her. This guy claims he is just happy to see her, but Juju only watches him carefully. His sudden friendly attitude makes her uneasy. They are not even that close. So she asks why he called her in the first place. Min says he only wants to know if she got home safely. He explains that he does not have her number. Because of that, he could not call to check on her. Then this guy asks for her phone number directly. Juju immediately dislikes where this is going. She does not want to assume too much, but it clearly feels like he is flirting with her. The girl has no interest in that at all, so she says she is busy and already has a boyfriend. Min looks seriously surprised. But this scumbag still does not give up. He says he heard she was single before. Juju calmly replies that things have changed now. Suddenly, Dojin appears behind her and calls her name. Juju instantly brightens up like she found rescue. She smiles and moves toward him at once. Min gives our boy a cold look. He clearly hates that Dojin interferes again. Meanwhile, Dojin gives off a dangerous aura. It is obvious he does not like seeing this guy near Juju. Still, he calmly asks what she is doing here. Juju rushes to her boyfriend so fast that Min cannot react. He wants to stop her and talk longer, but she reaches Dojin first and smiles. Then she says it is time for them to leave. Dojin looks at her strangely. He can tell something just happened here. But this guy says nothing. Instead, he sends Min a warning glance. Min glares back, unhappy to see him too. Then Dojin gently smiles and wraps an arm around Juju. He says they really should go now. The two walk away together, leaving Min stunned behind them. Min adjusts the brim of his cap while watching them leave. He cannot understand what just happened. Earlier, Juju said Dojin was like family, but now things look completely different. Later, Juju buckles her seatbelt in the car. Then Dojin says she seems very popular with guys. The girl looks surprised and denies it right away. But our boy does not agree. He tells her it is true. He says she is attractive, so many guys notice her. Juju finally realizes she is seeing his possessive side. She knows none of this would happen without Min showing up. She waits for him to get worse. But surprisingly, Dojin quietly slips his fingers into her hand. Their hands intertwine in silence. The girl instantly starts blushing. Then she asks if he is jealous of her. Dojin blushes too and admits it honestly. He says he is burning with jealousy over her. Juju needs a moment to process that confession. Surprisingly, hearing it makes her feel happy. Then she laughs cheerfully at him. She says it feels strange seeing her appa like this. Dojin immediately gets offended and asks what is so strange about it. Dojin looks confused and asks what is strange about it. He says of course he gets jealous when another guy flirts with his girlfriend. For him, that reaction feels completely natural. But Juju sees it differently. She explains that it feels strange because they barely even start dating, yet he is already acting jealous. After being friends for years, this never happened before. That is why she cannot believe it now. Dojin suddenly gives her a sly smile. Then this guy says she has no idea. He admits he started feeling jealous of other guys around her a long time ago. Juju freezes after hearing that. Her heart starts racing fast. She stares at him with wide eyes and asks what he means. Then she wonders if he has liked her for a very long time. The confession hits her hard. Dojin blushes and lowers his gaze. He admits it is true. This guy says he avoided accepting it for a long time, but in the end, those feelings never changed. Juju cannot believe what she just hears. She feels excited and happy at the same time. Then she starts asking when it all began. She says she thought he only asked her out because of recent events. Dojin looks embarrassed again. He admits he liked her since high school, but he refused to admit it even to himself. He was even angry with his brother because she liked him. The girl covers her mouth in shock. She can barely process everything happening right now. Surprisingly, she starts realizing something too. She may have liked Dojin for a long time as well. Dojin keeps talking honestly. He says it was never about responsibility. If that were true, he would never get involved with his friend's younger sister. This guy says he had his own reasons from the start. Then he leans closer and gently kisses her. Warm feelings rise in Juju's chest right away. She cannot believe this side of him stayed hidden until now. Everything suddenly feels different. But Juju quickly remembers something else. She asks if he expects her to believe him so easily. Until recently, he still had her making coffee, waking him up, and doing errands. Dojin admits he misunderstood things before. He thought she was just drunk and acting randomly. He never expected she was especially interested in him. Turns out our boy was clueless too. Then he takes her hand calmly. He says now she can just touch his chest whenever she wants. Juju places her hand there for a moment, then she suddenly asks about the lip balm challenge. Later, the two go to the cinema together. Juju feels strange because this means it is a real date. Dojin brings her favorite combo right away. Half salty, half caramel popcorn, and a cola. He asks if he got it right. Juju thanks him with a smile. Then he says he picked the earliest movie time. That way, they will not miss their restaurant reservation later. Juju says she is already happy enough. She takes a sip of cola and glances at his hands. Since it is a date, she starts thinking they should hold hands. But things get awkward fast. Dojin suddenly speaks up. Juju gets startled and thinks he read her mind. But surprisingly, he covers himself and shyly asks her not to touch his chest in public. The girl looks shocked right away. She asks what kind of person he thinks she is. Then she angrily steps forward and calls him annoying. But 1 second later, she regrets it. She quickly takes her words back. Juju admits she acted foolishly. Dojin only smiles and asks what happened to her. He says she is so cute that his heart flutters. That only annoys her again. She tells this guy to hurry up already. Soon the two sit down inside the cinema hall. Juju sighs and starts eating popcorn. This girl sits in a romantic movie, but she is clearly bored. She keeps yawning and thinks they should have picked a thriller instead. Meanwhile, our boy Dojin is fully focused on the screen. Surprisingly, he looks completely invested in the film. She gives up on the movie and reaches for her popcorn, but her hand misses and bumps into something hard. Turns out, she accidentally touches Dojin instead. This guy smiles and casually asks what she is doing. Juju gets shocked because she barely touched him. But things get worse when he suddenly grabs her hand. He suggests they leave early and spend time together in the car. This makes the situation even more awkward. She looks at him for a moment and feels shy, but she does not want to rush things at all, so she gently pulls her hand away and says she wants to finish the movie. Then she turns her full attention back to the screen. Dojin gets confused by her reaction. At the same time, a dramatic scene plays in the movie. The girl on screen demands proof of love from her partner. This moment strangely mirrors their own situation. Juju pretends to watch carefully, but she is not into it. The scene reminds her of Dojin's jealousy from before. Because of that, she starts feeling uncomfortable again. She leans back and wonders if she made the wrong choice. She starts thinking maybe she should have gone with him earlier. Now she worries that he might be upset. The mood becomes heavy for her. Meanwhile, things are not easy for our boy either. Dojin is also not focused on the movie anymore. His thoughts keep spinning around Juju. He feels both embarrassed and excited at the same time. This makes him even more restless. He slowly glances at her and sees she is watching the movie. That makes him feel even worse about his suggestion. Now this guy starts overthinking everything. He wonders if he pushed her too much. Soon the movie ends and they head back home. On the way, they stop at a store. Juju suddenly suggests buying some beer. Dojin gets surprised because they already ate a lot, but she happily runs ahead to grab snacks. This guy tells her not to run so she does not fall. When she reaches the fridge, her mood suddenly changes. Her smile slowly fades away. She remembers how awkward the whole evening felt. She only touched him once by mistake. But even after that, she notices he keeps holding himself back. That tension makes her nervous. Even during dinner, she could feel something was off. And now inside the store, the same feeling continues. So she tries to act normal and cheerful, but deep down she is struggling. It starts to scare her a little. She begins to question what kind of guy thinks like this all the time. After grabbing everything, she walks to the counter. Our boy is already waiting there. She quietly concludes that this guy might just be a pervert. While he is paying, something catches her attention. She suddenly looks outside the store window, then she tells him to look as well. Turns out it has started raining heavily. The rain pours down like a storm. She reaches out her hand and feels the drops hitting her palm. The moment feels sudden and intense. Dojin offers to buy an umbrella, but she says it is not needed since home is close. However, she pauses and thinks for a second. Then she remembers she left her hoodie in his car. Because of that, she changes her mind. Now she agrees that maybe getting an umbrella is a good idea after all. She turns around and suddenly sees her boyfriend. Her face turns red instantly and she asks what he is doing. To her surprise, Dojin is standing there taking off his hoodie. This guy looks completely calm while doing it. She gets embarrassed and questions him again, but he does not say much and simply puts the hoodie on her. Juju freezes because she did not expect this at all. The hoodie is too big, but it feels warm and comfortable. Dojin gently pulls the hood over her head. He tells her she might catch a cold in the rain. Then he casually wraps his arm around her and says it is time to go. This caring side of him leaves her completely surprised. The store clerk watches them leave together. He quietly thinks they look like a sweet couple, but at the same time he feels a bit lonely seeing them. Meanwhile, the rain outside only gets heavier. They rush across the street toward home. The rain pours down strongly, making everything harder. But thanks to the hoodie, Juju stays mostly dry. Once inside the building, she looks relieved. She happily thanks him for helping her. But then she hears his voice asking why she is still shivering. She admits she feels a little cold. When she looks at him, she notices something surprising. Unlike her, Dojin is completely soaked. His shirt sticks to him because of the rain. He runs his hand through his wet hair, shaking off the water. The moment feels strangely intense for her. She keeps staring without realizing it. Suddenly, this guy notices and calls her out. He says she is staring again like before. Juju gets embarrassed and quickly denies it, but then she shyly asks if it was really that obvious. Dojin softens and smiles a little. His cheeks turn slightly red as he tells her it is okay. The tension between them becomes softer now. Inside the elevator, she suggests they go home together so he can get dry. He agrees without hesitation. The quiet space makes things feel even more awkward. Neither of them knows what to say next. As soon as they reach home, they rush inside. Their wet clothes and shoes start coming off quickly so they can get dry. The situation becomes a bit chaotic but also natural. Both of them just want to warm up. A little later, they sit in a warm, steam-filled bathroom. The heat helps them relax after the rain. Juju complains that she feels tired from everything. Dojin apologizes, but he still looks satisfied. He offers to help her relax more, but she quickly refuses, thinking he might be teasing again. This makes the mood a bit playful. Even after everything, the tension between them is still there. Sometime later, Juju sits at the edge of the bathtub. She breathes heavily and holds onto the sink. Turns out she stayed in hot water too long. Because of that, she starts feeling dizzy. Meanwhile, our boy Dojin is already brushing his teeth. He notices her condition and says she looks like she might collapse. Then he reminds her to brush her teeth too. He even asks if she needs help. Juju sighs and says she is completely drained because of him. She tells him to help her since she has no energy left. This guy suddenly gets excited hearing that. Turns out he is more than ready to help. He gently lifts her chin and she gets nervous again. She thinks this scumbag might try something else. But surprisingly, he reassures her this time. He says he just wants to help her get ready for bed. That completely catches her off guard. She looks at him and cannot believe it. This caring side feels new and unexpected. It makes her wonder if he really likes her that much. Dojin smiles softly like she is a child. He brings the toothbrush closer to her mouth. Then he gently tells her to open up so he can brush her teeth. The moment feels both strange and sweet, but suddenly he notices her face turning red. He freezes and asks if she is okay. She looks like she has a fever. Juju quickly says it is just from the hot water and tells him to hurry. The next day, everything feels different. Juju feels refreshed and full of energy. Classes end and she starts packing her things. The mood seems light again. Suddenly, someone calls her name. She turns around and sees So Jang. Her friend asks if she has any plans today. She wants to hang out and grab a drink. Juju hesitates and says it might not work. Because of that, So Jang gets a little hurt. She points out that Juju spends all her time with her boyfriend now. The tension between them grows slightly. Juju apologizes and promises to treat her next time, but So Jang keeps pushing a bit. She says it has been too long since they talked properly. She really wants to know how Juju is doing. Juju pauses for a moment. Turns out she does not have much to share. Recently, she and Dojin barely even leave the house. That makes things a little awkward. Then she remembers something important. She promised Dojin she would not drink outside anymore. Because of that, she makes up an excuse. She says her parents are visiting today. Hearing that, So Jang calms down. She even jokes about meeting her future in-laws. The mood becomes lighter again. Their conversation finally comes to an end. Juju quickly rushes down the stairs. She is already running late to meet Dojin. Our boy is waiting for her in the car. She tries to hurry as fast as she can, but things take a sudden turn. Someone grabs her sweater from behind very hard. Because of that, she almost falls forward. She barely manages to keep her balance. She freezes in shock. This sudden move scares her badly. She starts wondering who would do something like this. The situation feels completely off. When she turns around, she gets her answer. Turns out it is Shin Sunung Min. This guy suddenly appears again out of nowhere, and he acts like he has the right to stop her. He looks nervous and quickly asks for a minute. He says he needs to talk to her about something important. His face looks serious and worried. That surprises Juju. She hesitates for a moment but decides to listen. Something about him feels different this time. He does not look playful or casual anymore. Turns out, this guy is genuinely concerned. This guy Min starts explaining everything seriously. He says he already accepted that she felt uncomfortable around him. Because of that, he was ready to stay away after hearing she had a boyfriend. But things change after what he saw recently. A few days ago, Min is walking through a parking lot. He is casually smoking when he suddenly hears a girl scream. Turns out he recognizes the voice instantly. It is Juju. He rushes to check what is happening, but when he sees the scene, he freezes. What he witnesses shocks him completely. The situation looks way too intense. Juju is shouting and telling someone to put her down. She even has tears in her eyes, but her boyfriend does not react at all. This guy just carries her over his shoulder like nothing. She keeps hitting him and struggles to get free, but he ignores everything and calls her too loud. Then things get worse. He throws her into the car like she is just an object. Min stands there in shock. He cannot understand why she is with someone like that. The whole scene disturbs him deeply. Because of that, he cannot just ignore it. So now he tells Juju everything. He admits he saw the whole incident. He says he is genuinely worried about her. Then he asks why she is dating someone like that. Juju immediately turns red. She covers her mouth in embarrassment. Turns out, she remembers that day very clearly, but she has no idea how to explain it. Meanwhile, Min keeps talking. He says she was screaming so loudly that he got scared. He was even about to step in and help her, but the car drove away too fast. Hearing this, Juju recalls everything. That day, she and Dojin were heading to the car, but she suddenly brought up something serious. She asked him about another girl from school. Turns out she heard something earlier. Her brother once teased Dojin about the class president. He asked when Dojin would make a move on her. That memory stuck with Juju. She reminds him about that conversation. She also mentions how her brother caused trouble with their project. Dojin reacts awkwardly and adjusts his cap. He says it is old news and nothing to worry about, but she does not feel satisfied. She expects him to react differently. Instead, his serious face makes things worse. Now she starts overthinking everything. She grabs his shirt and demands answers. She reminds him that they were each other's first. Because of that, she questions if he lied. The tension rises quickly between them. Dojin immediately stops her. He holds her hand and explains everything. Turns out, the class president confessed to him first, but he rejected her completely. He says he was not interested in relationships back then, but rumors spread quickly anyway. Because of that, he avoided talking about it. Mostly, he did not want to upset her. Juju feels awkward after hearing this. She says she is not upset, just bothered. She wishes he had told her earlier, but our boy quickly notices something. He realizes she is actually jealous, and that makes him smile. This guy cannot hold it in anymore. Suddenly, he starts laughing out loud. Juju gets irritated by his reaction. She asks why he is laughing at her, but he just looks at her warmly. Then he calls her adorable and teases her. He asks if she is really that in love with him. There is a playful tone in his voice as he teases her. Juju gets embarrassed and quickly argues back. She says she is only dating him because of his broad chest. This makes our boy laugh even more. He jokes that it hurts to hear that, even if she is kidding. But she is still annoyed that he laughed at her, so she fires back with another comment. She even threatens to leave him if his chest ever shrinks. That instantly changes the mood. Dojin stops laughing and looks serious. He warns her to stop joking like that, but surprisingly, she says she is not joking at all. He lets out a heavy sigh. This guy clearly cannot believe what he is hearing. But instead of arguing more, he suddenly picks her up. In the next moment, he throws her over his shoulder. Juju gets shocked and asks what he is doing. She even has tears forming in her eyes, but he smacks her lightly and tells her to wait until they get home. Turns out, he plans to deal with her there. Back in the present, Juju feels extremely embarrassed. She hides her face while thinking about how to explain everything, but then she realizes something important. She does not owe Min any explanation at all, so she quickly changes her attitude. She tells him they are not close enough for such questions. Then she points out his behavior. Grabbing her like that was not okay and it scared her. Min scratches his head awkwardly. He says he thought something serious was happening. Because of that, he just wanted to help. But Juju does not soften at all. She firmly tells him to stop getting involved in her life. She makes it clear she does not like his attention. Then she turns around without waiting, and just like that, she walks away. Min stands there feeling confused. He still thinks he was just trying to help, but now he does not understand her reaction at all. The situation leaves him completely lost. After some time, Juju finally reaches the car. She quickly gets in and apologizes for being late. Dojin smiles and says it is fine. Then he asks if something happened. She pauses for a moment. She thinks about telling him about Min, but she remembers his jealousy from before. Because of that, she decides to stay quiet. She puts on her seatbelt and gives a simple excuse. She says her classes ended late today. Dojin accepts it without questioning much. The mood stays calm between them. Then he brings up something new. He says his older brother invited them for dinner. Turns out his brother called while holding his son and said they missed them. Juju gets excited instantly. She really likes his nephew and enjoys spending time with him. Because of that, she happily agrees to go. Her mood completely brightens up. In her excitement, she grabs Dojin's thigh tightly, but she quickly realizes and pulls her hand away. She calls him a beast in embarrassment. The moment feels both funny and awkward. Dojin smiles a little and suggests something. He says they should stop by home first, then they can head to his brother's place together. Soon they arrive at Dojin's brother's house. Juju hides slightly behind our boy and greets them shyly, but things change quickly when Chaman sees her. The little boy gets excited and runs straight to her. He hugs her tightly with all his strength. Turns out, he really missed her a lot. Juju smiles and plays along with him. The moment feels warm and cheerful. Do-hook tries to calm his son down, but the kid refuses to let go. This boy even declares that he wants to marry Juju. Because of that, he sticks even closer to her. Juju laughs and hugs him back. She says her future husband is not heavy at all. Do-hook smiles at this and apologizes for his son. The atmosphere stays light and playful, but then our boy suddenly steps in. He says he does not want to disappoint his nephew, but he cannot let him marry Juju. That line instantly changes everything. Dojin calmly reveals that Juju is his girlfriend. He keeps his eyes on her while saying it. Turns out, no one expects this at all. The room goes silent for a moment. Chaman drops his toy in shock. He looks at Juju, waiting for confirmation. At the same time, Do-hook asks how long they have been dating. Everything starts getting serious. Juju stands there frozen. She did not expect their relationship to be revealed like this. Meanwhile, Dojin teases the kid playfully. That only makes things worse. Suddenly, Chaman starts crying. The poor kid cannot accept the truth. He feels like he just lost something important. The mood shifts completely. After a while, the boy is still upset. He hides in his father's arms and keeps sniffling. Juju sits there feeling embarrassed. Meanwhile, Dojin looks completely pleased. She finally admits that they have been dating for some time. Do-hook reacts positively to the news. He says he is happy for them, but he also finds it surprising. He mentions her brother and says he would be shocked. That comment changes something. Dojin suddenly becomes tense. This guy glances at Juju quietly. Juju blushes and accepts the congratulations, but the mood around Dojin shifts slightly. For some reason, he looks a bit uneasy. The energy feels different now. Then Do-hook jokes about something unexpected. He says Dojin does not seem good enough for Juju. Because of that, he asks what she even likes about him. The question puts her on the spot. She pauses and struggles to answer. Meanwhile, this guy leans closer with a grin. He clearly enjoys teasing her. Turns out he knows exactly what she is thinking. Juju turns red instantly. She cannot say anything in front of everyone. The situation becomes awkward for her. But things get even more chaotic. She suddenly pinches Dojin hard. This guy reacts to the sudden pain. She quietly warns him they will talk later. That keeps him in check for now. Then she quickly changes the topic. She tries to move the conversation away from that moment. Everyone slowly relaxes again. The tension starts fading. A little later, Juju looks at her phone. She sees a photo they just took together. In it, she is holding a crying Chaman while Do-hook smiles behind. She compliments Dojin for taking a good picture. Turns out, he captured the moment well. But she also points out something. He should have been in the photo with them too. Dojin casually says he stayed out of the photo for a reason. He thinks his nephew would get even more upset seeing him next to Juju. But his voice sounds a bit strange. Turns out something is bothering this guy. Juju knows him well after all these years. She notices small habits others would miss. Right now, he shows clear signs of irritation. His brows are tight, he looks annoyed, and he keeps touching his bangs. She watches him carefully, trying to understand. The day went well, so something feels off. She wonders if he is upset because of earlier, but she cannot figure it out yet. Later, they return home. Dojin sits quietly on the couch in front of the TV. The mood feels a bit cold, so Juju decides to fix things her way. She puts on his oversized hoodie and walks toward him. Then she acts innocent and asks for help with her sleeves. She moves closer, trying to lighten the mood. But his expression does not change. This guy helps her but still looks serious. That disappoints her a little. Surprisingly, she finds him cute even like this, so she leans in and kisses him. She sits on his lap and tries to get his attention, but things do not go as expected. Dojin does not respond at all. Instead, he looks at her hand and pulls away. That shocks her immediately. This has never happened before. She gets upset and asks what is going on. Turns out he has been holding something in. Dojin sighs and finally speaks. He asks if she really only likes him for his body. That question hits her out of nowhere. She freezes in complete surprise. He wraps his arms around her and pulls her closer. This guy looks anxious now. He says he just wants to understand why she is with him. His emotions start showing clearly. He even apologizes, thinking he forced her into this relationship. That makes things heavier. But Juju quickly stops him. She says he is completely misunderstanding everything. She gently runs her hand through his hair. Then she explains things calmly. She admits she likes his body, but that is not the reason. Turns out she genuinely likes him for who he is. She holds his face and smiles at him. Then she calls him silly in a soft way. Finally, she admits she truly loves him. That confession changes the mood instantly. Dojin feels touched, but he is still unsure. He asks again what she likes about him. Juju laughs at that. She says things started one way, but now it is real. She reassures him he has nothing to worry about. Then she gently kisses him again. The tension slowly fades away. But suddenly, our boy brings up something else. He reveals that he went to the parking lot earlier. Turns out, he saw her talking to Min. That moment stayed in his mind. It made him feel uneasy. He explains that she did not answer when asked about him. Because of that, he started overthinking. He thought she might be with him out of obligation. That made him feel insecure. Juju finally understands everything. She realizes why he was acting like that. Surprisingly, she finds it a bit sweet. But Dojin is not done yet. He admits another reason for his mood. He says he knows about her past feelings for his brother. Seeing them get along earlier made him jealous. All of it together overwhelmed him. Dojin looks at her with relief after saying everything. This guy finally lets out what was bothering him all night. Juju gently pulls him closer by the head. Then she calls him a grump and kisses him before he can react. She pulls back and speaks calmly. She says she loves him just the way he is. Turns out, she even likes that he is clingy and childish. Then she adjusts her hoodie and adds that she was upset too. Dojin quickly lifts her into his arms. He says he will remember that for the future. Then he asks if she enjoys teasing him. Juju wraps her arms around his neck and happily agrees. He carries her into the room with a smirk. This guy says she will pay for teasing him, but things flip instantly. Juju surprises him and pushes him down instead. She climbs on top and takes control. Surprisingly, Dojin does not resist at all. Their energy shifts completely. The moment becomes intense and playful. They share a long kiss together. Both of them feel closer than before. Their bond grows stronger after everything. The tension from earlier disappears. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to London. Seo Taeyu is lying down and scrolling on his phone. Suddenly, he finds something interesting. That post instantly grabs his attention. Turns out someone posted about Dojin online. It says a handsome guy from computer science got a girlfriend. The girl is described as a beauty from the business department. Taeyu gets shocked reading this. He starts wondering when this even happened. This guy cannot believe his best friend did not tell him. At first, he thinks about his sister, but that idea does not make sense. Then he assumes Juju introduced Dojin to someone. That makes him a bit jealous. His own sister never introduces him to anyone. The situation annoys him slightly. He quickly sends multiple messages to Dojin. He forwards the post and starts questioning him. He says Dojin cannot hide this. He even asks if Juju set him up with someone. Dojin replies briefly. He says Juju is eating properly every day, but Taeyu keeps asking more questions. This guy refuses to let it go. He even says he will feel betrayed if the rumor is true. Meanwhile, Dojin looks at Juju sleeping peacefully. She is resting after their emotional night. He decides not to reveal anything yet, so he changes the topic quickly. He asks Taeyu if he found a girl in London. This distracts the conversation. Taeyu replies with disappointment. Turns out, there are no girls in his program. That shuts him down instantly. Meanwhile, Juju keeps sleeping beside Dojin. The moment feels calm and warm. She softly murmurs his name in her sleep. Dojin gently brushes her hair aside. He touches her cheek and looks at her quietly. This guy realizes his feelings are deeper than before. Warmth fills his chest as he watches her. Then he texts Taeyu again. He says they will talk when he returns. That message surprises Taeyu. Taeyu stares at his phone in confusion. He feels like something is being hidden. This makes him even more curious. But he has no answers yet. The next morning arrives quickly. The table is filled with delicious food again. Juju thanks Dojin for always taking care of her meals. The mood feels peaceful. As they sit together, Dojin mentions something important. Taeyu is coming back next Friday. That changes everything instantly. Juju realizes time is running out. She understands they only have 1 week left. After that, her brother will find out everything, and things might get chaotic. She secretly wishes he would stay away longer. Dojin notices her expression right away. He asks why she looks so upset. Juju reacts honestly and says she wishes her brother would not come back. But then she quickly fixes her words and laughs it off. She says it sounds bad, but there is a reason. Turns out Dojin cooks much better than her brother. That makes the moment lighter. Our boy smiles at her reaction. He gently wipes a crumb from her lips. Then he licks his finger while looking straight at her. This guy says he is glad she likes his cooking. The mood suddenly turns a bit intense. Then he casually suggests something bold. He asks if they should just kick her brother out and live together. That line hits her instantly. Juju blushes without control. She looks at him and cannot resist his charm. She tells him he should not say things like that so seriously. Because of that, she might actually agree. Dojin laughs happily at her reaction. He enjoys teasing her like this, but then his tone becomes more serious. He takes her hand gently and looks at her. This guy asks again if she truly agrees. Their fingers lock together tightly. Juju feels overwhelmed in that moment, but she still says yes without hesitation. Both of them sit there staring at each other. Their hearts beat in sync. The atmosphere feels calm and warm, but reality interrupts them quickly. They still have classes to attend, so both head to the university. During the lecture, Juju cannot focus at all. Her mind keeps going back to one thing. Her brother is coming back soon. She knows he will react strongly. Finding out about her relationship will shock him, but she believes he will accept it eventually. Still, something else worries her more. Turns out, her brother and Dojin act completely different together. They get lost in their own world. Because of that, she fears things will go back to how they were before. She starts getting annoyed just thinking about it. She imagines her brother dragging Dojin away all the time. That thought frustrates her even more. She taps on her laptop angrily. Then a wild idea crosses her mind. She wonders if her brother should just get married and move out. That would solve everything. But things get even more unexpected. She suddenly starts blushing. This girl wonders if she herself should get married, specifically with Dojin. The thought surprises even her, but her thoughts get interrupted. So Jang suddenly appears beside her. Turns out the class ended long ago. Juju did not even notice. She explains she was lost in thought, so Jang then asks if she is free today. She wants to hang out at a cafe together. The situation feels familiar. Juju is about to refuse again, but suddenly she gets a smart idea. Everything could be solved easily. Her brother just needs a girlfriend. Because of that, she changes her answer. She asks So Jang if she still wants to meet her brother. That surprises her friend. But things move quickly. Soon, they head to a nearby cafe. Evening starts setting in around them. On the way, Juju calls Dojin. She tells him she will be late and not to worry. So Jang watches the call carefully. Then she asks the obvious question. She wonders if that was Juju's boyfriend.